Yo, you thinking about registering your business to go legit? Let me try to help you out.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. What's up, y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the number one, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there, and I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando, let's go!
Setting everybody, boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about registering your business as a legitimate business. Now, if you're familiar with any of my videos, you know that I talk about registering as a DBA. That's doing business as. In some states, in some counties, it's also referred to as a FBN, fictitious business name. This is one of the cheapest and easiest ways to register your business as a legitimate business in the state, city, and county that you operate out of. But what a lot of people have an issue with is figuring out how to register as a business, and should they register as a business? And if they want to run multiple businesses, do they have to register multiple DBAs? Now, as most of you guys know, I run a bunch of different brands. I also run a bunch of different businesses. So most of the time people come to me and they say, hey, since you run a bunch of different businesses, do you have to register a bunch of different DBAs? How do you do it? What do you do? To answer this in short, that is very much a personal question. That would be very irresponsible of me if I answered it in video form. The reason being is because there's a lot of aspects of my business that I don't put on YouTube. There's a lot of things that I do outside of running brands, doing YouTube and printing shirts that a lot of you guys don't do also. So if I say, yeah, this is how you're supposed to do it because this is how I do it, a lot of people will take that information and run with it. And they don't understand that they're trying to mirror their business to mine, but they don't know all aspects of my business. And that's why this stuff is so unique to the individual. And this is why I say that it would be giving you horrible advice if I told you what I do, because every business is different. You might print t-shirts and the next person might print t-shirts, but your business goals might be different than his business goals. And that person's business structure might be different than yours. But at the end of the day, everybody's making shirts. That's a blanket statement right there. So you have to understand exactly what you want to do and how you want to do things. Do not just go based off of, right, this guy on YouTube's doing it this way, I want to do the same thing he's doing. I understand that that's the easy way out, and that's the way that you want to receive the information, because you're like, all right, it works for him, so it's going to work for me. You got to understand that we don't run the same types of business. There's parts to my business that a lot of people aren't even privy to and don't even understand anything about. So that's why I say this part of the business is unique to you and you only. So I really highly encourage everybody to plan out a business structure that makes sense to you and you only. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Don't worry about what somebody else is telling you to do. You do what makes sense to you and you only. Now, there's a lot of people that have heat presses and vinyl cutters and they're ready to turn their business into a legitimate business. But they might be doing custom work, one-off t-shirts for somebody. They might run an Etsy store. They might be trying to run a clothing brand or maybe multiple clothing brands because they have a bunch of different ideas. And they might be operating as a print shop and doing contract printing and landing big accounts to print for other people. Who knows what it is? You have to structure your business to make sense for you. And the best way that I can explain this is currently now with what you're doing, where's the money coming in from? Is it from running your own brand? Or is it coming from doing custom shirts in your Etsy shop? Or is it coming from printing for other people like a print shop? Focus on where the money's coming in at. That's where you need to put most of your energy. Everything else is just a dream. Everything else is just something that you want to do. And you might accomplish those goals too, but you have to think about the now. What are you making money with now? Not what are you planning on making money with? What's bringing in the money now? Because that's where your energy needs to be focused at first. So let's say that you have aspirations to run multiple clothing brands, but most of your money comes from operating like a print shop, printing for other people. I would say register your DBA as the print shop. And it doesn't have to be any crazy name. It could just be John Smith Print Shop, John Smith Printing. And a lot of people, first thing they do is like, I don't want that to be my business name because that sounds corny, or I don't want my logo to look like that. I want some crazy, fancy, creative name. That's cool if you want to do that. But a lot of people, what they do is they're thinking of their brand name and wanting to register the business under the brand name, but they're operating as a print shop. So now your print shop is looked at as your clothing brand name. See what I mean? This is the part where planning and structuring come into play, because you got to have a plan put in place. You got to know exactly what you're doing and where your money's coming in at. Everybody has the dream of running brands, and hearing people talk about running multiple brands, and people want to be like, man, I got an idea for this brand and this brand. I'm gonna have to get like 7 different DBAs because I got 7 different brands I want to run. If you've never got one of those brands off the ground and profitable first, don't even think about the other 6 of those brands yet. You got to make sure that you can actually do this thing and get it going first. So if you're in this same space where you don't know which one you want to do, if you want to operate as a brand or as a print shop or as a custom person, but you do want to register your business, register it around whatever's bringing in the money now. If it's your Etsy shop, whatever your Etsy shop name is, register it as that. If you're operating as a print shop, make it easy. John Smith Design House, John Smith Printing, John Smith Supply Company, whatever it is. Just make it easy for you, and that way you could get that thing rolling. You can always start the brands under that name. Hell, you could even say that John Smith Printing is the one doing all the printing for the brand, and you're John Smith. You're the one doing the printing for the brand. That's your brand. But I highly encourage people to focus on one thing first out the gate, instead of saying, all right, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. That's cool, but you're spreading yourself out too thin. Make sure you're profitable in one thing first. Get that business up and running, get that thing going. And then when you want to start adding multiple businesses to your business structure, things will fall in line, because you'll understand what's important, what's not important. You'll understand what's needed, what's not needed. You'll understand where to focus your energy at that point, because you understand where the money's coming in from. When you're first starting out, you're all over the place, scatterbrained. You're just like, all right, I want to do this, I want to do that. I need to get this piece of equipment. I could be selling to this type of audience. These are all just ideas. That's all it is. Nothing's a reality yet, because you haven't brought any money in. You got to bring the money in first. Focus on one thing first and get that thing rolling before you start thinking about, all right, I want to run multiple brands. I want to do this. Oh, I got an idea for this brand. This is a dope brand name right here. Everybody's a think tank. Everybody has $1 million ideas. As the business owner, as the brand owner, you are the one taking the risk on this business. So you got to figure out a way to navigate through all those crazy ideas that you have and focus on one thing and make money with that one thing first. Once you do that, once these other businesses start to come up, you'll understand how to structure yourself. You'll understand what needs to be done. Right now, it doesn't make sense to you because you haven't got nothing off the ground yet. You haven't made a ton of money yet. Right now, everything is just an idea. It's just a dream. Start making these things a reality. Focus on one thing, get it off the ground, get it going. Then that other idea you had, like, oh yeah, you know what? That would help this business right here. So let's run with this. Now you'll understand how to focus your energy on multiple things and not spread yourself too thin, but also keep the profit coming in. This is just my opinion on all this stuff. This isn't legal advice. This isn't financial advice. This is just my opinion on what I think you guys should be doing. When you hit me up and say, hey, I want to run multiple businesses, run multiple brands. How do I do it? How should I register everything? If you're asking that question, that means you haven't did enough research and you haven't planned out your own business structure yet. Because if you fully planned out your business structure, you would have all the answers right there, right in front of you. So sit back, take a little notepad, figure out exactly what you want to do. Everything. Write out all those ideas and then figure out where do you want to focus your energy first? What's going to get you off the ground first? After that, building blocks. That's all it is, all right? If you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments for me. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrandoTV. And if you were looking into registering your business as a DBA and getting your tax ID and your wholesale license and all that stuff, I got playlists for that already. Check it out. My very first 3 videos I ever posted were about that: DBA, tax ID, EIN, and then your wholesale license. First 3 videos I ever posted up. If you don't want to search for those first 3, check the playlist. It's on there. Got it all laid out, broken down for you guys, all right? Hopefully this helps somebody out there. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.